by Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. It's Saturday morning and time for our chat with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
See, I got to tell you something. I was perusing your website.
Okay.
And I knew where the townhomes, the development is, the Piccadilly.
Oh, sure.
One,
Yeah.
Out by Essex Park. But this, I actually took the time to go and look at the pictures of.
Oh, good.
Them. Wow, they're way bigger than I thought.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Yeah, okay, well, just to let you know, the very next one that's going up is going to be a huge slab-on-grade, high-end, gorgeous townhome. So, I can hook you up.
Well, I'm kind of happy where I'm at right now. We're we're married to this neighborhood. We all took a blood oath to stay.
You know what? Isn't that the best? It is so nice when you live in a neighborhood where you're actually connected to your neighbors. I love it when recently I sold a house to a gal and she called me and she said, do you know that the last house we lived on that cul-de-sac for 3.5 years and we don't know anybody's name there.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, and she said, now we've lived in this new place for 3 months, and they are our friends. We are getting together, having fires in the fire pits, and we've gotten to know everybody, and we're just so excited about our new neighborhood. So that makes me feel so good.
It does. That's funny. When we moved out here, we tried to recreate, I tried to, the neighborhood I grew up in, which was a very social neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I ended up running into people who had the same goal.
Good, yeah.
So, it worked out really well.
There's so much to be said. I mean, there's so much to be said. You hear all the time that when, as a realtor, when you're meeting with a new buyer, to really talk about lifestyle, because it's not just the house, the physical house itself. It's actually, so much more. Do you like to walk? Are you near the trails? Do you like to kayak? Is there water nearby? I mean, what are the things you like to do? Do you like social neighborhoods? Because there are some. And when I have people that's really important to, I honestly walk with them through the neighborhood, ring doorbells, talk to people and say, is this the kind of neighborhood where you guys all get to know each other and look out for each other? And if they slam the door in my face, there's a good chance maybe it's not.
I was thinking you, as a realtor, you guys all have like a secret database that knows where these neighborhoods are in town, where, as you said, the fire pits occur and all in the driveway hangout spots and where, but not so. You just knock on the door.
Actually, I do know some, just because when you sell people houses for 20 years and then you hear from them, like what their neighborhood is like. And like when I go to a neighborhood and I say, oh, I sold a house to some people here 17 years ago and they're still here and they're never going to move because they love the neighborhood. So, I mean, some of it is truly just from experience.
Sure. Well, we were talking before we began the show briefly about how busy you continue to be. And I've seen headlines now over the past week now of Chris Galler from the Minnesota Realtors Association talking about some of the numbers from the past year. And even nationally, there's been the Associated Press with stories out, too, saying that the real estate sector has been amazingly, beyond resilient. It's been a place that has fueled economic growth over the past year during the pandemic.
That is the truth. And I know probably the listeners are thinking to themselves right now, we get it. We get that it's a hot market, but I can't drive it home enough, because this is not just a local thing. Like you said, this is a national thing. There was actually an article in Friday in the Inman, which is, I've talked about it before. It's just kind of like all about real estate. It's not RE/MAX driven. It's not Coldwell Banker driven. It's just a blanket of what does the real estate market look like, and how are, these kind of realtors that are coming into town going to fare, like the Red Door, Redfin, or whatever they're called, Next Door, Redfin. They haven't really come to Rochester, but I've seen a sign or two.
Are these the outfits that go and just buy up your house and then commoditize it or something like that?
I think there's some of that, but they're basically just like some of these companies that have been around where you just pay them a very small price to be on the MLS, I think.
Oh,
and
I
then
see.
you're basically a for sale by owner, and you do the negotiating as the seller and, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, from the year or more that we've been doing this program, I can see where that would be that would be not a wise move.
Yeah, no, I think well, I actually just read an article this week saying that when people sell their home with a realtor versus for sale by owner, on the average, they sell for 7.5% more. So, very seldomly is anybody paying a realtor that much money. Okay? So I think the moral to the story is you're going to come out ahead and take all the stress out of the equation. So, yeah, use the realtor. Right?
Well, the stress part is the key to me.
Gosh, yeah. What dollar amount can you put on that?
And I would be so afraid of making an error, a mistake, that down the road is going to come back to haunt me.
Exactly, because you really have been listening and you really have learned, and I love that.
All right.
But anyway, back to the Inman article. So it was written by Patrick Kearns, and it was published, like I said, Friday morning. And the title was, "It's Official, Home Sales in 2020 Soared to the Highest Level in Ages." Okay, so they talk about how home sales surged in 2020, up 5.9% from the year previous, and to a level unseen since the Great Recession. Okay? Then it goes on to say that in the early days of the pandemic, even though it effectively halted the real estate market and global health and humanity concerns, and those concerns still persist, to some degree, of course, the home sales in 2020 actually soared to a level that has never been seen before, the highest number since 2006, according to the data that was released by the National Association of Realtors. And it said home sales rose in December, and for 2020 as a whole, we saw sales perform at their highest levels since 2006. Despite the pandemic, National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun said in a statement, "What's even better is that this momentum is likely to carry into the new year with more buyers expected to enter the market." So, total existing home sales continued to gain momentum all the way through December, with things increasing from November to December almost another percent, finishing 22.2% ahead of last December's total.
Almost a quarter.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, prices are going up. Every year prices are going up, right? And in 2020, the prices also soared to historic highs, climbing 12.9% year over year to a median price of $309,800. Andy, I think when you and I started doing this show, I was talking about a median price in the 230s, and it hasn't been that long, a couple of years. So, things are really on the uphill climb.
Well, the evidence is everywhere.
Everywhere. Mm-hmm. Unsold inventory was at a 1.9 month supply. Okay,
that's nationally?
That's nationally. And that was actually down 3 months supply. So that's the tricky part, is even though we have less inventory, we're selling more homes, meaning everything that's out there is being sold. There's not those homes that are being taken off the market or sitting forever and ever. It's like, if you're going to list it, you're going to sell it. And
it also tells me, if I were to try to predict a trend, but I know that's dangerous, like weather forecasters know, that this has got to lead to new home construction. It has to.
It absolutely will. And let's see, I think there was a quote in this article about that. Let me just browse. Okay. To their credit, home builders and construction companies have increased efforts to build, with housing starts hitting an annual rate of near 1.7 million in December, with more focus on single-family homes. However, it will take vigorous new home construction in 2021 and in 2022 to adequately furnish the market properly to meet the demand.
They have a lot of catch up.
There's absolutely going to be houses being built. So be ready to hear the nails being pounded, because the neighborhoods are going to be coming up all around us.
And that'll be the sound of jobs being created, is what that'll be.
The sound of jobs being created, the sounds of buyers being able to take advantage of these great interest rates. I mean, honestly, we had a team member, Sherry from our team, she was in a multiple offer situation on a Thursday or Friday of this week. The house was over in Wabasha, had hit the market one day on the market, and she had to go, and I can't say numbers because it's not closed yet, but she had to go a considerable amount above the asking price to get the house. But her buyers were so thrilled, and then they actually, when she called to tell them, she found out that it was Mrs. Buyer's birthday. So that was really exciting.
And this is in January.
Is this really January? Because I'm having a hard time believing that. I literally feel like my head is spinning, and it feels like a full-on spring market. I'm talking March, when the residents are here. Everything's going crazy. I've been at the RE/MAX office at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night, which I am a lot of times, but a lot of times I'm the only car in the parking lot. The parking lot looks like it's midday. I mean, there's 15, 20, 25 cars there. So everybody is just extremely busy.
Wow. Okay. So we're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results, and we'll continue chatting with Robin when we get back in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back, Andy Brownell, along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. And we're talking about the real estate market. Hot in January.
Hot. You know, it's kind of like the weather. Unseasonably hot. I don't know if we can call our weather hot. You know, it's sure not been bad. It's not been do you think it's been a bad January? I mean, the month is flying by, and I don't feel like we've had really any measurable snow. And yeah, we've had a few cold days, but not terrible.
And the clipper that we had was what? A couple inches there? And
yeah.
Although
we're looking for 8 or 9 or 10, yeah. Right.
And they have fluffy snow in the forecast for later on today, but it's January. You're going to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned nationally there's a shortage of homes for sale. Are we seeing any movement on inventory? Because it seems like that's always the thing we talk about.
Right. So normally, in a normal market, what's normal? I don't know. But in years past, come the middle of February, the phone will start ringing about, hey, I'm thinking about putting my house on the market. What is the best time to do that? Or when should we get started? Are we too early? Should we be waiting until March or April? And, my answer was always, well, I feel like the middle of February is the start of the spring market. So I think no time like the present. And if people would ask me in the past, if they would have asked me in like December, I would have said, you know what, call me mid-February. Now I'm like, call me today, please. Let's get this on the market. Doesn't matter which location, doesn't matter which price range, doesn't matter. We just need inventory. So I 5 or 6 listing appointments this past week, and there's some really awesome houses. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping I get selected to be the listing agent. But the good news is, to me, is that even if I don't, I know of some really great houses that are going to be coming on the market, which I will now have the inside scoop to talk about buyers.
All right.
Talk to buyers about. So, and those houses that I've been looking at are just all over the board in the price ranges. But we're also seeing sales all over the board. It's not just those low-end houses that are selling. So,
and as much action as you're seeing for this time of the year, which is highly unusual. Of course, everything's highly unusual with this pandemic occurring.
Correct.
The one thing that you talked about almost a year ago is, and through the summer as we were watching this all develop, is that you feel, and I think the statistics probably do even show evidence of it, there's a group of people who are still sitting on the sidelines waiting. Mm-hmm. And as things, hopefully, knock on wood, keep heading in the direction we're heading, and more of us get the vaccination, that's going to continue to fuel the demand that we've been talking about. I imagine as these people go, okay, I feel better now. I'm going to go make the move.
I can honestly say that I started feeling better when I started hearing that people were being vaccinated, but I started feeling a lot better when the people in my family and the people that I know have been getting vaccinated, because it becomes real.
Right.
It just becomes real. So yeah, I think we're just definitely headed in the right direction. And yes, I do believe that there are people who have been waiting, and you know what? Completely understandable. I mean, there are people that have just said, well, not only do I not feel great about having people come into my home, I don't want to go out and walk through other people's homes, and I don't want to think about moving during the pandemic. So, I mean, people who have held off for very legitimate reasons.
Well, we all have different, tolerances, is that the right word? Different perspective of
different
safety.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Different comfort zones. Everybody has a different comfort zone.
Comfort zone's a better way to say. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that'll be the summer.
I do.
You may be in for a crazy summer.
I do have 2 listings that did come on since we've talked last week that are really nice, affordable houses. So I would like to share those.
You bet.
One is at 2014 14th Street Southeast in Rochester, and that one is listed for $199,900. It's a cute little house with 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. It does only have a 1-car garage, and it was built in 1949. But again, it's $199,900. So that one should be gone this week, I'm guessing. And then even over in Wabasha, I have a cute little house that has a detached 3-car garage, and it's a 2-bed, 1-bath, and it is an older home. It was built in 1910, but it's been redone. It's got new plumbing and new electrical and new siding and new windows and a newer roof and a newer 3-car garage. And that one is being offered at $144,900.
I love older houses too.
Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? And it's in a neighborhood where the neighbors have been planted for quite some time, so it's one of those very closely knit neighborhoods. So that's fun too.
You might even get a lasagna when you move in.
You probably will. Or cookies or something.
Tater tot hot dish.
A tater tot hot dish. Nothing beats it.
Oh goodness, yeah, that was how we were welcomed in this neighborhood, by the way. No, it was actually lasagna. So
that's why you don't want to. That's why you don't want to leave.
Because I want another one. I'm still waiting for the second.
After a certain anniversary, maybe that should be a new tradition.
Yeah, the Golden Lasagna Award. We stayed there long enough.
I don't know. There's just something so nice about when neighbors actually will take the minute to come out. I mean, they don't have to cook lasagna, and especially during pandemics, people probably don't want to eat food that other people cooked or whatever, but it's just nice when they actually make an effort to go and welcome someone to the neighborhood.
And it
doesn't take that much to do it.
And that's one of the nice things about home ownership, too, is when you put yourself down on that piece of earth And it's up to you to do what you want to do. And, even in our neighborhood, you have people who are very, very active, and they have other people who their speed is not so much. They would rather spend more time alone, and everybody's just fine with that.
Respectful of that.
Well,
sure.
Absolutely. And everybody's super friendly. Yeah. You know what? We're going to take another quick break here. We're going to come back and talk more with Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Here's a quick tip from your local Auto Value parts store. Just
Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results with us this morning. I'm Andy Brownell on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Robin, you mentioned that come a month or so from now, traditionally, that's when you start hearing from people thinking about putting their houses on the market. And you're telling all of us that, hey, now's the time to actually...
Yeah, it's already started. Yeah, it's already started.
I know we've done this before, but it's always good to talk to because we have different audiences all the time. You have people coming in and out. And what is the process? I mean, if all of a sudden I wake up tomorrow and I say, you know what, let's make the move. Let's go find... we're going to downsize. We're going to get a bigger place, whatever it may be. We're going to put this house on the market. How does that all work? How long does it take? What do I need to know?
It's a really good question because if it's something that you haven't done before or it's something that you haven't done in a very, very long time, there are a lot of questions that sellers have. The normal questions that you would think about are, what do I have to do to get my house ready for the market? How much are you going to list my house for? How fast can I expect to sell it? How much is it going to cost me? What is the commission rate? What are the other expenses? Those are all really valid questions, right?
Yes.
And then the other questions are like, how do I time it right? For instance, one of the gals that I met with this week said, okay, so I've bought a place in Florida. And I don't want to move there until I've sold this house. I close on that house in February 28th. I don't want to have too many months of double payments. Ideally, I'd like to move out of this place at the end of May. So when do I put it on the market? So that's when I say, give me a minute. I'm going to run to the trunk and get my crystal ball. I'll be right back. But no, truthfully, I say, well, this is when we look at the data, right? We say, first of all, I'll do a market analysis and tell you what your house is going to sell for. Second of all, right now, on average, houses in our market are selling for 101.7% of the asking price. So you can expect that when we list it at the right price, you're going to get that or more. So, that's very encouraging. I can also say that the average house, if I'm looking at houses like yours, and in her particular case, it's a big, beautiful house, the average days on market in the last 6 months has been 31 days. So that's the price range where I used to say 6 months. So, it's really shortened, right? And so she's like, okay, so if I can think about average of 31 days on the market, and then how long is it after I get that offer that it actually closes? Well, that's flexible. It will be at least 30 days. It could be sooner with cash, but she doesn't have to accept a sooner closing date, right? The seller always has some say in that. But I say, think on the average between 30 and 45 days. So she's like, okay, I'm going to do the math. I'm going to plan on an offer in 30 days, then I'm going to plan on closing in 45. So that puts me, and then she just works backwards to, okay, let's put my house on the market on, such and such a day. And then she gets all nervous and says, oh my God, what if they come in and they love my house and they want to close at the end of February? And I say, the good news is, you can always say, you can close at the end of February and you can get locked in at your great interest rate, but then the stipulation would be you're going to rent back to me until the end of April or whenever it is you're ready to go. And if they don't want to go, if they don't want to go along with those terms, well, there's other buyers, and that's the glory of being a seller now. You can pretty much say, this is how it needs to play out. You know, this is when I want to move out. This is when I want to close. This is when I want to be out of here. This is what I want to get for my house. And as long as you're, you know, thinking within the realm of reality, it's very easy to make that happen.
But the point you brought up about the interest rates, I never thought of that as a buyer, you're going to want to lock in.
Right. And not that we are foreseeing some major increase in the interest rates, but when somebody is hearing from their lender, if you find something now and you get locked in, I can give you 2.65. People are like, whoa, even if it goes back to 2, even if it goes back to 3, I'm saving money, so I want to get locked in. So a lot of buyers are really anxious to get locked in, but they're also willing to compromise.
Yeah, that's where you can come in there too and be that person who is the go-between.
Helps negotiate that all out.
Say, there's a way to do this.
to just put all the logistics together and make it so that it's a win-win for both sides. You know, selling and buying real estate is not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be an exciting time. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be memorable. It's not supposed to make you cry yourself to sleep at night and get headaches and anxiety. And I've seen people that have had, real estate transactions that have caused that. And I'm really happy when I can help someone avoid that.
Well, if you're a person who's interested in having Robin help you avoid that, if you have a house you're thinking about selling or you're a buyer, how do you get a hold of Robin Gwaltney?
Well, absolutely feel free to call my cell phone anytime. That phone number is 507-259-4926. Also, I encourage people to visit our website to learn more about us, and that is gwaltneygroup.com.
All right, Robin, we'll talk to you next week.
All right. I look forward to it, as always.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Robin Gwaltney with the Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM at 96.9.
Mayo Clinic Radio on the house.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that.
Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay, but can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed. Queen now $17.99 plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.